Doesn't get better than this. It is completely over now. We called it. We finally won in the appeals court. One of the biggest blows to the activist left judges who have been circumventing Trump's deportation orders. It is over now. Go ahead, guys. I'm telling you, show some love in the chat because justice is winning. Trump has just scored 2 major wins against the leftist Democrats that are trying to keep him from cleaning up America. Go ahead, add it to the charts. Trump won the biggest win ever with the appeals courts siding with him on not allowing illegals that have been captured to be released back into the United States after they've been captured, but they must be deported. Activist judges have constantly been releasing criminal illegal aliens that have been captured back into the streets. And finally, we have the ruling. They're not allowed to do this. They cannot do this or else they will be arrested. This is what we voted for, everybody. If you appreciate this, show some love in the chat. Hit the thumbs up like button because this is justice winning. Getting to the point where these activist judges cannot continue to circumvent Trump's executive orders and the rule of law in releasing these criminal illegal aliens back onto the streets. And now, not only that, the appeals court sided again, the Ninth Circuit, with Trump, and he can now use the California National Guard to clean up Gavin Newsom's big mess in California, and Newsom can do nothing about it. This is what we voted for, baby. I love it. The Trump administration is ending immigration judges being allowed to release illegals back into America permanently. This is a big one. This has been happening the entire time. And I'm telling you, this is exactly what they intended. Immigration judges can no longer grant bond for immigrants who enter the U.S. without authorization. DHS calling the ruling, quote, a big win for our ICE attorneys, securing our ability to detain illegal aliens until they are deported. That's what we voted for. Because remember, they're using taxpayer dollars to fight against the federal government on deporting these illegal criminals that came into our country using our own money. That stops now. Huge win for America. I love it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big, big, big win. But I'm telling you guys, the fight is only beginning because, again, listen to this. Democrats are planning to launch what they are calling a master ICE tracker to track the locations of ICE agents and operations. Now, don't forget, ICE is facing over 1,000% increase in assaults. And this is the Democrats just adding more fuel to the fire. They want violence against ICE. And not only that, New York AG Letitia James has created a portal for submitting photos of ICE agents for investigation. That is in addition to the Master ICE Tracker website. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this sounds like treason to me. Put their butts in jail. How can you dox these federal ICE agents that are just executing their job to deport illegal criminals that aren't even supposed to be here in the first place? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is big. And not only that, we've taken the next step in what we've shown you a couple days ago about the federal contractors bragging. Now we have video evidence bragging on tape about subbing out their government work, a $100 billion scam using fake minority firms as pass-throughs. They have gamed the system for too long, and now agencies are finally taking action, and arrests are next. Arrest. That's what we want. Stop breaking the law. Stop gaming the system. Stop these elitists just 100% taking advantage of the federal government, our taxpayer dollars, to get rich. All the while, the U.S. national debt has just reached a new all-time high of $38 trillion. We got a lot of breaking news today, but again, the biggest wins ever, because this has been fighting for months and months. These activist judges releasing criminal illegal aliens back into the streets after they've been captured by ICE. Well, not anymore. This is a win big time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got a big show for you today. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers, all of our members. You are the best. Thank you so much for your support in helping us in growing our channel and our giving. If you're not a subscriber yet, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button. Let us take care of you and serve you with the breaking news every single day. We're going to show you receipts, things you don't see on mainstream media, because it matters. Context matters. I want to give some special love to those that have given in the super chats. Donald Little, show Donald some love in the chat, as well as our boy Thomas Crosby. Show Thomas some love in the chat. And everybody, give it up for Melinda Johnson for her gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from Melinda, show her some love in the chat, as well as our boy Thomas Brewer. Thank you so much, Thomas. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This helps to grow our channel. It grows our voice. We are going to bring the truth, to show you all the things you need to see, because a lot is going on, but big wins for MAGA. It's not about red. It's not about blue. It's about America, putting America first. And right now, this fight is getting real. Listen to this.
Boys took over Manhattan. They hit Canal Street, a real hot spot for counterfeit merch. Illegals got iced, and liberals went loco.
You guys get it, chill.
You miss your mama with you that now? You texting your mama with that vest?
Democrats are already calling it a racist hit.
They were targeting, in this case, black vendors on Canal Street. That's what occurred. Not hardened criminals. This wasn't about public safety. This was about targeting communities.
This wasn't racial.
Wow.
It was an intel-driven op. The illegals they picked up had long rap sheets. Robbery, burglary, domestic violence, drug trafficking, and assaulting police. No bueno. Kami Mandami wants to protect the criminals and deport ICE.
ICE is a reckless entity that cares little for the law and even less for the people that they're supposed to serve. What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government.
LA's also at war with the government. An illegal rammed agents with his Camry. They opened fire. The migrant was hit in the arm, and a U.S. Marshal was clipped by a ricochet. Turns out the bad hombre is a runaway. He's escaped ICE before, and he's a TikToker who stalks agents and doxes them. Democrats gave him an award for it.
Wow.
A certificate of recognition from the LA City Council.
Let me tell you this, everybody. If this doesn't rock you, I don't know what will. Yesterday, a horrible accident involving an illegal who was suspected of a DUI. He rammed into like 4 cars. He's an illegal Indian alien named Jashanpreet Singh. He was released into the country by the Biden admin in 2022. This is who he was. Killed 3 people in a fatal 8-car accident. Wasn't even supposed to be here. And was driving a big semi-truck. And this is the type of stuff that the leftists say, don't worry about. Why are you trying to take away their things? Because when you can't read the signs of the English and you don't know how to speak English, and you can't read the signs, and all these people that are being caught illegals, guess what? Those 3 people that lost their lives, their families will never be the same. Guess what? That illegal, who's gonna be taken care of their families? But this happened yesterday. I'm not gonna play the video. It's too graphic. We're just showing you an image of before everything happened, and also too of the guy who actually committed the crime. And this right here is just why it's so important that Trump won in the appeals court to finally stop allowing activist judges to release these illegal immigrants back into the streets, because that's what they were doing. ICE would catch the criminals, go before an activist judge, the judge just releases them. Now you tell me, where's the justice in that for all these innocent families that are losing their lives. If you appreciate what we're doing, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This is big, everybody, and this is why we are fighting against all this injustice, and yet the Democrats are continuing to do stuff like this. Illegal alien child rapists receive thousands in taxpayer-funded Medicaid benefits. Oh, but they're not getting benefits. They're not getting health care. We are catching them left and right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much, Angry Squirrel, for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships, growing our family. Thank you so much, bro. We appreciate you so much. And don't forget to show Melinda Johnson some love in the chat. If you got a free membership from them, show them some love in the chat. We are dropping the news today. This is sick. I'm tired of it, but I'm glad we won big time in the courts.
And now he's getting deported. Adios. Democrats don't like seeing their migrant all-stars get benched, and they're returning fire.
The Oversight Committee will be launching on their website a master ICE tracker where we're going to be essentially tracking every single instance that we can verify that the community will be able to send us information on, and it'll be all available in one central place.
ICE agents are getting rammed, shot, and spit at. Cartels have bounties on their heads, and Democrats want to tell the world exactly who they are and where they are. Imagine if conservatives were tracking IRS agents.
Wow.
Here's the guy who audited you and told the country they didn't have to pay taxes. The left doesn't care that ICE is in the crosshairs. Teachers in LA are saying, grab your gun.
They are not the only ones with guns in this city. They're not the only ones, and don't forget that. And I don't say that because we're calling for violence. I'm saying that because the people have every right to defend themselves against masked, unidentified gunmen with AR-15s.
I'm not calling for violence, but if ICE tries to deport you, shoot them? These people are insane. They called Trump Hitler, then he got shot in the head. Now Ribs is saying ICE raids are a preview of the Holocaust.
People have criticized me for talking about the Nazi regime. This is what happened. People's rights started getting taken away. People got accused of being...
How can you have rights if you're not even a citizen of the United States? You have rights when you are a citizen. And they keep saying that, oh, these people's rights are being taken away. Guess what? You broke the law when you first came into the United States illegally. And all we're doing is upholding our law to protect our citizens from crazy, left-wing, and violent people just like this. Illegal alien child rapists. So again, too, I'm like, these people that try to gaslight us, we're showing you the receipts, everybody. All this stuff is coming out. We're bringing you the facts, and I'm sick and tired because people only see one side of the story when we show you everything.
Immigrants, this is before the Holocaust really took place. People were accused of being immigrants, and then laws were passed to limit immigrants.
Our immigration laws have been on the books for years, decades. Biden ignored them. Trump's enforcing them. That's not Nazi, it's American. And if you don't like the laws, win an election and change them. Don't put hits out on the innocent guys just doing their jobs and pretend that bad guys don't exist. Democrats still think Antifa is a fantasy.
First of all, I don't know what Antifa is. I want to punch the president of Antifa. Give me his address. Where do I find his son?
Well, where's the headquarters?
Where is it?
Where's the headquarters, James?
Yeah, where's the headquarters?
Wow.
Who is the board of directors? Who are those? There's no such thing as Antifa.
If
Are
Antifa
you
doesn't
serious?
exist, who's lighting Portland on fire? They're real and they're organized. Journalist Nick Sorter took a sneak peek into one of their safe houses. Watch.
What are you doing?
We'll send you the address, Carville.
Wow.
But don't throw any punches. Antifa's violent, and the cops are in their pocket. Tulsi Gabbard's the director of national intelligence. So they're talking about, Director, a master ICE tracker. That's kind of a scary sounding list the government's putting together.
put their butts in jail. Like, I'm telling you, I'm so sick of this. And again, this right here is such big breaking news, everybody. If you don't like give it up for this, because this is justice winning at the highest level, that the Trump administration is ending immigration judges being allowed to release illegals back into the America permanently. Immigration judges can no longer grant bond for immigrants who entered the U.S. without authorization. DHS calling the ruling, quote, a big win for our ICE attorneys, securing our ability to detain illegal aliens until they are deported. This is one of the biggest wins ever. Tracy DeCombre, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said this is a despicable. Illegal immigrant are allowed to do as they please. Citizens are being harmed. California is in dire straits. California protects illegal immigrants. They do, and they're doing it right now with U.S. citizens' taxpayer dollars. Jeff Poffrey said, hi, Joel. Still loving True Life News. 12 months now. Hope I'm an OG. Oh, brother, you're an OG, brother. Especially with that t-shirt on. Show Jeff Poffrey some love in the chat. Appreciate you, brother. As well as our girl, Tracy DeCombre. Guys, thank y'all so much for your support. This is justice, what you're about to hear next, because it's finally arrests that are coming.
Very much so. Jesse reminds me of the reason why I and so many others have left the Democrat Party. When you look at this party that is more interested in protecting criminals, cartel members, gangs, those who are causing incredible harm, ravaging our communities across the country, than they are actually standing up for the victims. You see a party that in many cases celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk. You see a party now that is essentially putting the lives of our law enforcement and their families at great risk. This is not the values of our country. This is not the values of the First Amendment and peaceful protest. This is a party that's undermining the very foundation of our country and putting the American people at risk, which is why President Trump, throughout his entire campaign, he promised the American people, I will make America safe again. I will secure our borders, and I will go after these cartels and gangs who are terrorizing the American people, raping young girls, causing incredible harm. And that's exactly what he's doing. I think the thing that's interesting to point out here, Jesse, is as you look at these law enforcement officers who are working for ICE, ICE's recruitment numbers have skyrocketed since President Trump took office, even in the face of these kinds of threats coming from some very powerful Democrat politicians across the country. Why is that? Because they are signing up to serve and protect the American people.
Why haven't we heard?
And let me tell you this, everybody. I've got good news for that person's family who, remember on the railway, the rail car, this young lady was just sitting there, did nothing, had no interaction with this dude, and he gets up and he stabs her to death. He has been federally indicted and is likely to face the death penalty for this heinous crime. Nobody does it. It happened so fast. Like, people didn't even have time to react. And again, this was a career felon that the dang Democrats' soft on crime policies let out. She lost her life. Her family's lives will never be the same. And it's time we finally hold these dang people accountable. If you appreciate this, y'all, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. PJ Leisure, let's go with the super chat. Member of the channel, thank you so much. Y'all show PJ some love in the chat, everybody. And don't forget to show Angry Squirrel and Melinda Johnson some love for their gifted memberships on the channel, growing our voice. It means the world to us. I am so sick and tired of seeing innocent people hurt because elitists won't do their dang job, love the chaos, and enable the chaos throughout the country. And it's all about to stop. Listen to this.
Senator Hawley, a huge day in artificial intelligence. I know you're one of the ones working on this shutdown. Can you give us an update on the shutdown first? I think we're winning the shutdown, and if they want illegal aliens to get paid by the United States government as much as we're in debt, I think the War and Posse would tell you, if we got your back, we're a hard no. Can you get us up to speed?
Yeah, I think the Democrats are right in the same position you just outlined, Steve, which is they want money going to illegals. They don't want health care for our veterans. You go to the VA right now, if you're a veteran, you're going to find all kinds of stuff shut down. Why? Because the Democrats would rather give money to illegals than pay our veterans who bled for this country. And that's it in a nutshell. And that's their position. So I hope sooner or later they'll come to their senses and they'll realize, you know what? This is the wrong thing. It's the wrong thing to tell American citizens who paid their taxes, who have served this nation, that we're just going to screw you in order to pursue some far left-wing agenda. But that's where they are right now. And I tell you,
Senator Hawley, just real quickly, but is there anything to negotiate? They keep on us all day long. Is there, in your mind right now, is there anything to negotiate, sir?
Well, listen, here's what I say to them and all the Dems who say we need a negotiation. Make the president an offer. You've got the president in office right now who is the ultimate deal maker. He's the best deal maker in the Oval Office in my lifetime, maybe ever. I mean, I don't know who would surpass him in terms of his record. You want to make a deal, take him a deal. They're not doing that, though, Steve. That's a talking point. They're not doing it. They're not saying, okay, here's what we want. What they're out there doing is trashing Trump, complaining about the ballroom at the White House and whatever else, while they're denying veterans health care benefits. I mean, come on. I think people see through this.
What's your message to the president and our audience? I only got a couple minutes. I know you've been in hearings and meetings. What's your message to the president of the United States about this situation?
Well, I think he's doing the right thing. I mean, this is a guy who's paying the military. He's paying our law enforcement. He's paying Border Patrol. The only reason any of these people are getting paid is because Donald Trump is finding every avenue that he can to try to get paychecks to our folks who are out there wearing the uniform, keeping us safe. I mean, so my message to him is thank you. I mean, thank you for doing that. Thank you for standing up for our people, for the American people. It's the Democrats who would rather shut down the entire government than pay an ICE agent. They would rather shut down the entire government than build the border wall. They'd rather shut down an entire government than stop illegals from getting Medicaid. I mean, it just shows you where their priorities are.
And I want to show you this, everybody, because again, Trump, whenever you're having to go to the appeals courts, and this is the receipt, everybody. We show you the receipts. President Trump defeated Gavin Newsom in 9th Circuit Court of Appeals. He can now federalize the California National Guard to support federal immigration efforts. They allowed an invasion, and literally we have to go to the appeals courts system in order to enact our federal immigration laws to remove the invaders that the Biden administration let in. And again, it bothers me so much because who is going to be held accountable? All this money, all the amount of benefits and everything that's been given over the past 5 years to people that weren't even citizens, who is held accountable? Nobody. Not Biden, not Kamala Harris, none of the Democrats. You could say, well, they're being held accountable because they lost their positions. Well, guess what? Look what we're having to do to fight to try to make things right. The hundreds of billions of dollars, and I don't doubt that it'll get into the trillions, trying to make sure to keep America safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Forget me not. Let's go with the super chat. New member of the family. I love it. Show Forget Me Not some love in the chat. As well as Chip Trap with the super chat said Trump's poll numbers are up. Democrats' poll numbers are down since the shutdown. How's that working out for you Democrats? Winning. Let's go. Show Chip some love in the chat, as well as Summerman. So Romans 8:28, and we know that those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Amen. Tracy DeCambre said there is no two-party system anymore. It is good versus evil. Love this channel community. Jesus is king. All will be accountable to him. Amen, Tracy. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. Thank y'all so much for your support. And again, all this boils down to we are fighting the enemy within. We're fighting corruptness everywhere. And that's why it's so important, everybody. I show you these things right here. This is literally from the Department of Justice, the DOJ. That even when it comes to the Medicare system, our health insurance system for our seniors, the United States filed False Claims Act complaint against 3 national health insurance companies and 3 brokers alleging unlawful kickbacks and discrimination against disabled Americans. Okay, So you see here that the DOJ is going after this corruptness as well, and that's why we partnered with Chapter. Because again, if you're on Medicare, it's open enrollment time, guys. This is a free service from Chapter. It takes less than 20 minutes, and I promise you, they will take care of you. They have saved seniors on average $1,100 a year. They save people on this channel $1,400 a year. And that is a lot of money. You can buy a lot of stuff with that. You can take a vacation with that. But what I love is that they truly take care of you. My own family is using this, and my own family is being taken care of. And I would never, ever put something out on this channel that wouldn't bring value or benefit to you, but they compare every single Medicare plan. Make sure you're taken care of. You call them up. You tell them that Joel sent you. The number is 667-895-3015. We got the link in the description if you want to go to the website, as well as the number there if I'm speaking too quickly. But the number is 667-895-3015. They're going to get you taken care of. They're helping a ton of people out on this channel, and I'm just sick and tired of us seeing our own people getting the boot when we should be putting our seniors as priority, not this type of stupid stuff where people are taking advantage of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. We just want to make sure you're taken care of. So go check out Chapter. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. They're going to get you taken care of. Listen to this.
We know that we hear that some of the rhinos are getting wobbly. What's the message to the posse of what we need to do with your guidance over the next couple of days?
Well, I just think the message is listen, we got to draw a line in the sand on never giving healthcare money that the American people need and have paid for to illegal aliens. We've got to draw a line in the sand that we're going to fully fund ICE. We're going to fully fund the Border Patrol. We're not going to accept cutbacks on any of those areas. We're going to stand firm and defend our military, defend our law enforcement, and make sure that our people who need these services, our veterans, our seniors, get what they have been paying for their whole life, Steve. I mean, that's the real injustice here, is our seniors, our veterans who paid into these programs their whole life now can't get them. Why? Because the Democrats don't like Donald Trump.
And I want to show you this, everybody. So much is going on. Right now, the U.S. national debt has just reached an all-time high of $38 trillion, and there are some people that are breaking rank with the Republican MAGA party. And again, this person is making headways, guys, because they have 100% gone against Trump on a lot of things. Let me know if you still support him, because we once said at one time that this person could be Speaker of the House, but this is getting deep, everybody. Show Thomas on Toronto some love in the chat, everybody. Said, love your neighbor as yourself. Amen. Thank you so much, Thomas. If y'all appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support, everybody. It really helps out. Listen to this.
What does it feel like to be the person who stood consistently with the series of principles, these 5 principles, from 2016 to present, one of the only ones, to see people who hated Donald Trump, still hate Donald Trump, try to read you out of the movement and take it over?
Oh, I can tell you, I feel great. I sleep perfect every single night. My voting record is a direct reflection of me standing with those policies and never wavering or changing anything. When I go back home to my district, Tucker, which I've been here a lot because Mike Johnson won't bring us back to work. But when I'm back in my district, I go to the grocery store, I get hugs, I get hellos, I go to restaurants, I get thank yous. And I go around as a normal person in my district, and I really love it because these people know me. And they know the hard work that I put in for them, and they know.
And remember, right now, the biggest things that Marjorie Taylor Greene is fighting on is no money for Israel, no money for Ukraine, codify all of Trump's 200-plus executive orders, and use the nuclear option to nuke the filibuster and put the government back into order. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because again, too, the reason that I'm showing her, everybody, is because she's gathering support, and the more support that she has behind her, the more this fights against Mike Johnson and his support and what he's trying to do, who he's telling us that he's following Trump's orders. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I haven't changed one single bit. When I'm in Washington, D.C., it's a completely different matter. The Republicans that I work with, they know, they literally know that they are having to serve this agenda as long as the president is there in office, and they look at him like a speed bump. Many of them can't wait to get him out of the way, and so they can just go back to doing business as usual. And I find that repulsive, absolutely repulsive. You know, a lot of people are happy about the government shutdown, but I really have no respect for the House not being in session, and I have no respect for Speaker Johnson not calling us back to Washington, because we should be passing bills. We should be passing bills that reflect the president's executive orders, which are exactly what we voted for. We should be at work on our committees. We should be doing investigations. And you want to know something? We should be passing the discharge petition that Thomas Massey put in to release the Epstein files. Those are the things that we should be doing. And we
Oh yeah, and just a reminder, everybody, they're all still getting paid. She's sitting at home in her district, chilling. The rest of the federal government is all off right now, but Congress is still getting paid. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Most of all, Tucker, we should be passing our appropriation bills to actually fund the government and fund important projects that taxpayer dollars, these people pay their taxes. This is how taxpayer dollars come back to your districts. We should be doing that, but no, we're not. And these are the things this is why I have no respect so many times for our party, because they get on board and they campaign and they say America first and they try to utter and mimic these Donald Trump talking points. But when it actually comes to getting to work and delivering those talking points into action for the American people, the people that voted for them, the people that knocked doors for them, that the sweet little ladies that gave $3, crumpled up dollars out of their pocketbook. I mean, all these people that worked so hard to give us the majority, when it comes time to doing that, what are we doing? We're sitting at home. And that's something that grinds me, absolutely grinds me. I have no respect for it. Let's take, for example, this $40 billion bailout for Argentina. That's probably one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And I have no idea who is telling our great president, our America First president, that this is a good idea. Because it's honestly, it's a punch in the gut to all of our American cattle ranchers, and they are furious, and rightfully so. And at the same time, I can't think of another country that's further away from the United States of America than Argentina. It's literally at the bottom of South America in the Southern Hemisphere, and we're all the way up here at the top. I don't know how that's America first.
Guys, I'm telling you, she is 100% going after everybody right now. And there's another thing that, let me know your thoughts on this, because I'm trying to dig more deeper into it. But Trump's legal team has now filed a $230 million claim against the Justice Department over past federal investigations that happened under the Biden administration. That Trump wants $230 million in payback because of what he had to experience from the past administration. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Starch Manning, thank you so much for your support. Y'all show Starch Manning some love in the chat, everybody. This is big because, again, too, now we bring you, everybody, there's a lot of stuff that they're saying, a lot of stuff that's happening. Do we agree with it or not? I'm on the point of I like to see a little bit more facts from what they're trying to say when it comes to Trump and getting money and the shutdown. But again, more stuff is coming out. Let me know your thoughts. Listen to this.
Day 23 of the Democrat shutdown. And today, you all know, we have a special guest with us. We're delighted to welcome back to Congress, U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy. I enjoyed serving with him during my first few years here, and we're grateful he's serving our country in this very important position right now in these very challenging times. He's a very busy guy, but he'll give us a few minutes to give you an update here in just a moment. You'll hear directly from him, about the very real and consequential ways that Americans are suffering right now because of the shutdown. I just wanted to give you a brief update, and then I'll turn it over to the Secretary. But by way of review, the reason that my colleagues and I have come in here every morning now during this painful Schumer shutdown is because we have to share the facts and we have to share the simple truth with the American people. And why is that? Because the Democrats are working overtime to try to hide those facts and to try to distract from the very simple truth here. They want you to forget that just 5 Senate Democrats could reopen the government today. All we need is 5 of them. They try to pretend that their counter-proposal deal doesn't reinstate free health care for illegal aliens, $200 billion of taxpayer funds. They try to pretend that their counter-proposal would not send billions of dollars in wasteful spending for social projects in foreign countries overseas. They don't want you to look at the facts. They don't want you to look at the paperwork that they themselves filed as the counter-proposal. And they refuse to admit that this entire shutdown is one big political game to satisfy the radical Marxist base of their party. But that is exactly what is going on. And I want to be absolutely clear about this. Democrats would not have shut the government down this time if their political careers did not depend on it. And that is not some Republican talking point. That is the objective truth. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, the number 2 Democrat in the House yesterday openly admitted to that fact.
Yes, they did.
Catherine Clark is the House Democrat whip. She works right under Hakeem Jeffries as the number 1 Democrat, and she was in an interview and she said to one of your colleagues sitting here on the front row, quote, "Of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but this is one of the few leverage times we have," unquote.
And again, everybody, it's not, we show you what's going on, but we also show you the facts of the context of what he just said. Because again, too, we don't want to just be a one-sided talking point. We want to show you, okay, did this person actually say it? Well, here you go.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
So they're going to leverage families suffering. This is the number 2 Democrat in order to keep the shutdown going to try to get their $1.5 trillion slush fund back in play that the big, beautiful bill kicked out. Let me know your thoughts, because I'm telling you, I am 100% supportive. Keep the dang government shut down, because we cannot continue to own all this huge debt that the slush funds for the Democrats that helps them win their elections.
It's shocking to hear them say that out loud. By her own admission, she knows that the American people are suffering. Democrats know that millions of federal workers are desperate for their paychecks. They know that thousands of flights have been delayed. They know that SNAP benefits and nutrition assistance for women, infants, and children are in jeopardy for millions of American families. And yet, they don't seem to care. But you know what? Take heart, America. Take heart, because all your suffering is for a good cause. It's for the Democrats' political leverage. That's what the number 2 Democrat said here yesterday. It is utterly shameful. The obvious truth is that only a Democrat could get away with saying such abhorrent things without the media batting its eye. I guarantee you, if the tables were turned, if the Republicans were the ones holding the country hostage and openly admitting to it, it would be absolutely explosive. It would be wall-to-wall coverage, and everybody in this room knows that. Every single mainstream media outlet, every newspaper in America, every single day would have that on the top fold as the big headline. But of course, that's not what's happening right now. Coverage of all this has been sporadic and almost every time spun to try to somehow favor the Democrats who have put us in this mess. Democrats own this. They've said so themselves, and you just have to listen to their own words. Don't listen to us. Chuck Schumer himself said infamously, every day of the shutdown gets better for us, meaning the Democrats. And then you had the Democrat whip here say yesterday, openly admitted, they're holding the country hostage for their political leverage. They're perfectly fine with that. They're perfectly okay with real pain being felt by real Americans, as long as it helps their political agenda as they see it, as long as they can force $1.5 trillion new dollars in spending on America and get illegal aliens back on health care funded by U.S. citizens. That's their counter proposal.
And again, I want to show you the base to everybody because this is so important. If you appreciate what we're doing, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This is what the Democrats have supported. When they tore down statues, spray painted graffiti, and they always have, whenever they destroy things, monuments, things like that, it's okay. What Trump does, anything that Trump does, no respect for history. It's Trump's shutdown. Trump doesn't care about the people when it's literally their own base that is pushing for this radical violence, this radical agenda. Lori Rapier, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Says supporting you and the charities. Love True Life News. We appreciate you, Lori. Love you too. Show Lori some love in the chat. Thank you so much for your kindness and grace. Thank you so much, Lori, true OG of the channel. Stephen Jr., thank you so much for the support. Member of the channel, said Article 1, Section 6, Clause 1, compensation clause. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be as. Y'all show Stephen Jr. some love in the chat. I just love it how, again, no matter what happens, Congress is always going to be taken care of. They're always going to be paid. And it's the working man, working woman that hurts whenever it comes to these elitists having a different set of rules than us.
And largely, so many in the media are turning a blind eye to that. Well, as I said earlier, we've stood up here every day and talked to you about some of the terribly harmful effects that the Democrat shutdown is causing on Americans. We talked about troops at risk of missing their next paycheck. The nutrition assistance for women, infants, and children is under threat. Now, SNAP benefits will not be sent to those who truly need it. But there's another very important group of federal employees that we want to highlight today because they also aren't getting paid and the consequences are being felt around the country. Air traffic controllers, some people call the policemen of our skies, they have been showing up at work without pay. And news reports have suggested that these men and women are seeking outside employment just to keep their families afloat. Some of them are working these long shifts, and then they're hopping in a car and driving for Uber, or they're delivering for DoorDash all night. And you just have to think about what a heavy thing that is. These men and women have one of the most stressful jobs in America. They cannot be 99.5% accurate or 99.9% accurate. They have to be 100% accurate, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And now they're being forced to work longer hours, take on multiple jobs, and maintain the same level of excellence, again, all while Democrats hold their paychecks hostage. This is what one air traffic controller said in their own words in an article, quote, "The financial anxiety doesn't just hurt morale, it directly affects safety. When someone responsible for thousands of lives a day is worrying about whether they can pay rent or feed their kids, focus suffers. Controllers were already underwater with pay and staffing before the shutdown, and now we're drowning," unquote. As a reminder, and this is pretty ominous, but you remember the article a few days ago where the Democrats were quoted saying they won't reopen the government unless, quote, "planes are falling out of the sky," unquote. We pray to God it doesn't come to that, obviously. But the longer the shutdown goes on, and as fewer air traffic controllers show up to work, the safety of the American people is thrown further into jeopardy. Now, I'm heartened that we have a leader like Secretary Duffy. He has an extraordinary team. We have extraordinary air traffic controllers in this country, and they are maintaining the safety against incredible odds.
And I want to show you this, everybody, because they are doubling down right now on the reckless policies. Zohran Mamdani, this is the future of the Democratic Party right now, calls ICE reckless entity in a vow to make New York City's sanctuary policy more extreme. New York City is one of the top cities and states in the United States that receives the most federal funding. Whenever they get this federal funding, where do you think that they send this money to? Where do you think that they're paying off? Why do you think that they stay so blue all the dang time? It's because they can funnel all their money. Remember whenever they were putting up all the illegals in the Roosevelt Hotel and all this just insane luxury cash cards, debit cards, whatever you need, they were providing them food. And then the illegal immigrants were saying, well, we don't like this food because this isn't our culture and this isn't what we eat. So then the people literally paid more money to have more people cook the food that these illegal immigrants wanted because it was their culture. And this is what's the future of the Democratic Party. Like, it's literally sickening because it's like when you come to America, we are a melting pot. But whenever you're coming and getting benefits, this is not an entitlement. This is not, no, you can have your cake and eat it. You get support, then you go become a good citizen and contribute to a society, but you do it the right way. Because again, Trump is not stopping with the economy. Listen to this, kicking butt like nobody's business.
Is roaring, and the numbers back him up. And according to new Treasury analysis, President Trump's economic policies are putting the U.S. on track to narrow the budget deficit. The president's sweeping tax cuts will save nearly $190 billion next year for you, about $1,000 for the average filer. All of this is despite a 22-day government shutdown. So riddle me this. If you've been out of work for 3 weeks and literally nobody notices, are you really that important and necessary? Marcus, big picture.
Wait. What are you about the necessary? You're asking if I'm necessary?
I was gonna pivot.
Oh, okay.
But you're welcome to talk about anything you would like. But you, better than anyone sitting here, have your hand and arms around the pulse of the consumer. Is the economy just roaring?
No. It's not.
Why not?
Oh, well, the consumer is still under a lot of pressure, and households are still under a lot of pressure.
Yep.
And I agree that there are parts of the economy that are doing better, and I agree that the deficit spread is shrinking because all of the cash that's come in from tariffs is now sitting on the shelf on products and offsetting some of that. I think the biggest debate that I have with what the president said is that the small business confidence is at a 10-year high. I'm sorry to say that is categorically false. Small business owners are more concerned than they've ever been about the cost of goods coming to them. The cost of labor in this market is frightening to them. Their ability to get money from banks is tighter than it's been in a while. That doesn't mean that they're running for the hills, but it's not the highest it's been in 10 years.
Not just to stay on this, what needs to change then?
Interest rates have to come down.
Well, that's on deck, is it not?
Yeah. Well, it's philosophically on deck, but it categorically needs to happen. And we're not talking about a quarter of a point here or there. We're talking about we need a full 1 point reduction at some point within the next 12 months for businesses to really start roaring, for capital expenditures to start leaving CEOs' desks with signatures. I think until that happens, hiring's on hold, capital expenditures are on hold, unless you're being incentivized to do so.
Anybody jump in here, take the ball, run with it.
I will agree with you.
Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm leaning out of frame, so do a wide shot so you get both me and Lou in the same shot.
You want me to lean in?
No. But as I go to you or as you take the ball, look at the 10-year Treasury.
That's what I was gonna say. Under 4%.
Right. So, Jackie, you go.
Let me just go with that because investors are buying stocks and bonds at the same time. I don't dispute the fact that small businesses are uncertain. They're feeling the pinch from tariffs. They don't know what's going to happen. I get that, and I understand that they're the backbone of the U.S. economy. But there are bright spots in the economy as well. When you've got investors and they're buying stocks, they have confidence in earnings season. Corporate earnings have been robust. We haven't seen guidance that has been too protective of what is to come on the horizon. And you've got that 10-year going under 4%. I think that was pretty critical move to make. Basically, you've got investors saying we have confidence in U.S. Treasuries. We have confidence in the stock market. And we think that all the pieces of the president's plan, albeit maybe not happening all at once, will come together in a better picture that ultimately, probably down the line, will help that small business investor too. We highlighted the tax savings from the Big Beautiful Law at the top there. Dagan, you did that. Corporate tax savings as well. You have the tariff revenues that are on the table. I know they're not enough to cure all, but they're not insignificant. And most of all, you've got other companies, countries investing in the United States. It's going to take a little while to pay off. We talked about the consumer and gas prices yesterday, oil well under $60 a barrel. These are all positive signs that the picture is starting to work.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And again, too, everybody, remember, this isn't stopping right here. What the Democrats are trying to do, and this is just a chart showing you, we just hit $38 trillion in debt. So again, the money flow is just insane. And you would think, like, that they would sit back, say, you know what, let's be responsible. Let's make sure we stop living crazily off the taxpayer. And let's make sure that we do right and stop wasting money. But they don't. Robert Cash, thank you so much for being a member for 11 months. Let's go. Show Robert some love in the chat. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, everybody, thank you so much for your support. I want to tell you this, everybody, because again, what she just talked about, businesses and things like that, interest rates, it's so stupid how in our country with this right here, the Democrats, the Republicans, the Congress spend so much of our money in such a wasteful way. When you want to start a business, do you realize if you want an employee, you have to pay a tax on them? You have to pay taxes on hiring that employee, 7% for every single employee on their wages. And then guess what? If you make money from that business, you got to pay taxes. And then the money that you have left, you want to go buy something, you got to pay taxes. It's just insane that we're looking at $38 trillion in debt. Trump is trying to get tariff revenue to work, trying to stop wasteful spending, trying to make sure, I mean, they're adding a ballroom to the White House and it's paid by private donors, yet it's always wrong for Trump to do anything. And I'm sick and tired because, again, we want to make our country the best that it can be, but we do it off the backs of some of the hardest working Americans. Because remember, around 50% of the United States people don't even pay taxes. It's the middle class that pays taxes. It's the higher class that pays taxes. Yet who always complains the most? The lower income class, but yet they get all the tax break. They don't even pay taxes. So again, we are living in a very socialistic society already that we're trying to move towards America first, that, hey, we need to be fair and free with our trade and with all Americans, not just the ones that, again, who don't even already pay enough taxes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Anything you said, I think the distinction is between investors and operators, a snapshot in time now to what we're looking in the future. I would tell you, if you look at the map of the U.S., and GDP growth is off the charts because of AI, but if you look state by state, about 20 to 25 states are actually in an economic recession. And the engine of this economy has always been small businesses. They now have clarity on most tariffs. But to Marcus's point, we need more, because if you look at job openings, they're concentrated heavily in small businesses, right? We're not finding the right labor, whether it's too expensive or not qualified. We need to see these policies come into effect and interest rates go down to have this engine take off. But I would agree with you. The outlook is optimistic. There's hope on the horizon. These policies need to take root. But the question remains, is there something out there, a risk that we're not thinking about? Is it private credit? Is it another geopolitical conflict that we're unaware of? I think that could really sabotage the underpinnings of what's starting.
And again, everybody, we always show you the receipts, stuff that's happening behind the scenes, because no matter what, we've had so much collapse within the federal government over wasteful spending and things like that we're finally uncovering, and arrests are about to be made. Listen to this.
I want to get James O'Keefe. O'Keefe, your investigation is leading not just to a series of massive scalps coming out of the Small Business Administration, but I think it's going to lead to a rethinking in the Trump administration, starting with Scott Bess and the team over at Treasury, about exactly what in the hell's going on with some of these programs that have gone a little bit under the radar, but people are just stealing cash with both hands. James O'Keefe, your investigation and the results so far.
Yeah, last night, the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, said that they are suspending all of the contracts and task orders with this group we uncovered, pending an investigation into allegations, $253 million in Treasury administered contract value. We also have Kelly Loeffler at the SBA put out a statement saying they launched an investigation into the so-called 8A racket. This is the minority-owned businesses that act as pass-throughs and shell companies, Steve, and then subcontract out to firms like Accenture and McKinsey. And Steve, yesterday I also talked to the Department of Justice. Someone in the antitrust division called me and said they're launching a criminal investigation. And we have released another, lot of updates here, a second video yesterday of another guy in this organization, this federal contractor admitting to a $100 million fraud. So this whole scheme, this whole racket, these shell companies that act as minority firms, but they're not actually minority firms, this is a $100 billion scam. But what's different in this time, and I've known you for 15 years, is it looks like they're actually suspending the contracts. The government's doing something about it. I know it's a start. We hope the Department of Justice arrests these people, but they told me yesterday they are launching a criminal investigation. So big news here.
Okay, hang on. Suspending the contracts immediately cuts off the cash going out the door. That's huge. And when you got Scott involved, that's even bigger than the SBA because he's got to prove the check. So that's massive. But Gail Slater, who we're very close to, runs antitrust. She's a hammer. You're telling me that the antitrust people reached out to you, that they're beginning a criminal investigation?
Yes, on background, they did. And I want them to go public. I hope they do. But in the meantime, they told me that they're launching an investigation. Yes. And I recognize the government shut down right now, so there's a bunch of bureaucracy with all that. And but what people really want, which is I know what you want, what we want justice.
Yes.
We want accountability. We want people arrested if they're breaking the law, which in this case, if they're doing less than 51% of the work as general contractors, they are breaking federal law. So if I did this, Steve, if you did this, we'd be in jail. If we stole $500, we'd be in prison. And this is a $100 billion fraud. Breaking, yes, the answer to your question is Gail tweeted at me actually yesterday. So huge developments here.
You've been doing this now, over a decade, almost 20 years, from Acorn to now. Have you ever seen a government move as quickly? I mean, you came on the show on Tuesday, was it? Wednesday? I mean, it's like 48 hours. You've put up these videos you've been doing. By the way, people should know, and this is the power of O'Keefe, these operations are impossible. You've been 9 months in working this through. 9 months. But go ahead.
People have a false impression that this is some type of dating app meeting. This was not a dating app encounter with these officials. We had to set up a fake website, pose as a headhunter that did similar work to what these 8A minority-owned subcontractors do. We had to find a hobby of the subjects that we were investigating, meet with them under that pretense, simultaneously bring up, oh, what a coincidence, we do something similar. Then we had to offer a job to these people, meet with them in restaurants 2-3 times, focus on multiple employees in the same firm to prove it wasn't an isolated incident. And then in that meeting, I wore this ridiculous disguise, Steve. People say, well, how could they not recognize you with this absurd wig? I did that intentionally to show the incompetence and the corruption. It's not just they're corrupt, it's they're incompetent. And I think it's the goofiness, the Acorn video from 16 years ago led to the congressional defunding of Acorn. That was a Democratic-controlled House and Senate, 83-7 in the Senate. It's a changed world. But with Scott Bessent's statement, he says, quote, taxpayer dollars must be protected. We will not tolerate schemes that try to game small business programs. So it appears as though Kelly Loeffler at the SBA, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and the individual you mentioned in the antitrust division of the Department of Justice are taking it very seriously. I've never seen hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts suspended in all the investigations I've done in 15 years.
You're talking $100 billion that was set to go to minority owned for them to be able to help out minorities to get jobs, get work, and what they ended up finding was that some white guy went, again, this is their DEI programs, y'all. This is the breakdown of, again, what we continue to see from these types of reckless policymakers like Zohran Mamdani and all of them that, oh, we're going to go help the minorities, but then it ends up being the exact opposite. And nobody really gets help. Like whenever they say we're sending money overseas, but yet only 15 cents out of every dollar gets actually to the people that need the help. And yet we send hundreds of billions of dollars. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we're bringing the facts today. And especially, this is a big one because a lot of people have been upset over what the DOJ went after Trump. And now Trump wants some money from the DOJ in the tune of over $200 million. Do you agree with this or not? Should he get the money? Let me know your thoughts. Listen to this.
Now, President Trump reportedly demanded the Department of Justice pay him $230 million in compensation for all the federal investigations into him. Here's what the president had to say.
You know, I get no salary. I gave up my salary. It's a good salary. Not as much as these guys make, but that's okay. It's a lot of money. And I don't, as you know, I didn't take it in the first 4 years. I'm not taking it in these 4 years either. But as far as all of the litigation and everything that's been involved, yeah, they probably owe me a lot of money. But if I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity or give it to the White House.
Well, House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan joins us this morning. Sir, Trump says the DOJ owes him money. If he gets it, he'll give it to charity. But should he get it in the first place?
Well, we'll see what what happens with the DOJ. What may happen if it goes to court. What I do know is no one has been harassed by the lawfare, by the weaponization of the Justice Department like President Trump. I mean, you can go all the way back to 10 years ago when they were spying on his campaign. Used the dossier, the dossier paid for by the Clinton campaign. Hired the law firm who hired Fusion GPS, who then hired a foreigner who wrote this garbage document that Jim Comey used at the FBI to take to the FISA court to get a warrant to spy on the other party's campaign, and then the special counsel, the impeachment, Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, Fonnie Willis, on and on it goes. So you can see Jack Smith raided his home, for goodness sake. So all the harassment that he's had to deal with, you can see why there's that level of frustration, why he says that. And of course, if he's successful, he's going to do some, give it to charity and do something. Maybe he'll use it to help offset the cost for the grand ballroom that's coming to the White House. I don't know, but I do know he's been harassed, and we've never seen lawfare and weaponization like we did with what the left did when they went after President Trump.
I think the ballroom is already paid for with private funds. That's what I'm hearing anyway. All right, next one. You're calling on the Justice Department to prosecute ex-CIA Director John Brennan for the Russia hoax. All right, what's the charge?
Well, you're not supposed to lie, but you're definitely not supposed to lie when you're under oath talking to Congress. And it looks like that's exactly what John Brennan did. He said he was not involved in any way with the dossier. He said the dossier was not part of the intelligence community assessment. Only problem is when ODNI Director Gabbard declassified a report from the House Intelligence Committee from a few years ago, it says exactly the opposite. In fact, it was in writing where John Brennan said the dossier warranted being in the intelligence community assessment. And maybe the best evidence was another official at the CIA actually confronted Mr. Brennan and said, hey, we can't include this dossier. There's no underlying intelligence to support this thing. It's garbage. And John Brennan responded, yeah, but doesn't it ring true? Showing that he was out to get the president. He wanted to get the president. And so this is pretty compelling, we think. And I'll be honest, I don't do many referrals. We've only done a few over my time in Congress. But this is one where I think the evidence clearly shows John Brennan wasn't square with us when he was asked about this. And frankly, it supported Congressman Gowdy several years ago asking about the dossier. We think he lied to Trey in that hearing several years ago. And of course, there's the irony that we got this information from Mr. Brennan where he was saying things that we think aren't true when we were deposing him about a different issue. The 51 former intel officials who signed that ridiculous letter back in 2018. 2020.
It was a hoax, and somebody should be held accountable for it.
Yeah,
Jim Jordan.
Yeah.
Again, and this is the $230 million that Trump says it's owed to him. Should he get paid by this? Because remember, when he's getting paid, it's kind of coming from the taxpayers, because the taxpayers are funding the Justice Department. And this is something over everything that he has faced. I'm telling you what, we need justice, and every single time that we unveil something like this, we're consistently showing that the Democrats, they used money like nobody's business to go after Trump. They 100% side on the wrong side of history, and there's a lot of lawmakers out there that are doubling down that, hey, if this shutdown needs to go a month, 2 months, whatever it takes, we're not giving the Democrats any more slush funds. Let me know your thoughts.
South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who is also running for governor in the state. I'm pleased to be joined right now by Congresswoman Mace. She's also a member of House Oversight and also a member of the Armed Services Veterans Affairs Committee. Congresswoman Mace, great to have you with us. I mean, we've got, you know, the Democrats there trying to blame it on President Trump, and Tim Walz puts out some weird video where he's holding a golf club. I mean, I guess this is the best they can do these days. What do you make of where it will go? Because we just saw Thune saying we're unified behind you, President Trump, but we are in day 21, and there's no vote today in the Senate scheduled.
Well, my first question is, what was Tim Walz doing with the golf club? Number one, and what does that have to do with the government shutdown? Getting folks back to get the government. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing and I don't know why. I'm trying to get it turned off. But in terms of the government
you're
shutdown,
okay. You're in demand.
Leadership, and there's no end in sight because Democrats want all sorts of goodies, grab bags for insects, for illegal aliens, for you name it. And we're not going to budge right now. We can't send millions of dollars to African locusts or to feminine democracy in Honduras. It's just not a thing.
Well, he's holding a golf club. I guess it's a better PR stunt than trying to go hunting when he can't shoot a gun. But they are playing games. I want to ask you a reaction. Where are some of your colleagues on the left? Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett today decided to support Congresswoman of New Jersey, LaMonica McIver. She wants the charges dropped. Right now, a court is listening to oral arguments. She obviously had the dust up. It is all on tape. We have the video there from the own officers' footage on their bodies. This was in May, assault charges. She faces several years in prison. We'll cue up that video of this tussle. I mean, physically assaulting a federal officer is a serious crime. She wants them thrown out. Her attorneys say it's selective and vindictive, of course. You are a member of House Oversight. What went down that day in New York, many say, was complete chaos, not oversight, Congresswoman Mace.
Well, as the left likes to say, as the Democrat Party says, no one is above the law, including their own elected members of Congress. If you assault a federal officer, ICE agent, police officer, you name it, you should go to jail. You should serve time.
Yes.
You should have a trial. Just because she's a member of Congress doesn't mean she gets to walk scot-free. This is
And that we don't need no two-tier justice system, everybody. That's what we're seeing right here. That's where the Democrats are trying to get away with. But I'm telling you this right here. When this happened, this right here, and this, they allowed and billions and hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to be used on illegal migrants. When they stormed through and they broke, and look at this, just pushing through, they caused things like this to happen. Truck driver allegedly behind fatal car accident who killed 3 people, 3 citizens identified as Indian illegal alien. The illegal alien child rapist received thousands in taxpayer-funded Medicaid benefits. Stuff like this, it's like, when is enough is enough? And I'm sick and tired of all this stuff that we've seen, and I'm just ready to see more arrests. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate what we're showing you, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, and if you're watching and you're not subscribed yet to our family, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want to serve you every day with the breaking news. There's so much that is going on, but I'm telling you, we are seeing things change, and it's finally good, especially with Trump winning against the activist judges, that they cannot release any more illegal immigrants back permanently into the United States. That is a win for everybody. But I want to say again, remember everybody, on the 22nd of every single month, we donate live on stream to a local charity to help out these children, these that don't have any family, to these children's homes. Yesterday, I'm so thankful to everybody that we were able to donate, and everybody that's given today. I just want to say thank you so much, because when you donate, you give a super chat or you give a membership, we partner with you and we give to a local charity. And I want to give some special love to Melinda Johnson today. Let's go. Show Melinda some love in the chat. Also for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Appreciate you so much, Melinda. Our boy Thomas Brewer, Angry Squirrel with the gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. Forget Me Not, thank you so much. Tracy DeCambre, Jeff Poffreeman, thank you so much, brother. OG of the channel. PJ Leisure, thank you so much. Summerman, we appreciate you. Chip Trap, OG of the channel as well as Thomas Otranto, thank you so much. Starch Manning, our girl Lori Rapier, thank you so much, Lori, for your support. We appreciate you so much. Steven Jr., thank you so much for your support. Robert Cash and PDX67, let's go. We appreciate you so much, brother, for the gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. And again, thank you so much for the email, PDX. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody, for growing our voice, for helping us to grow this family, sharing on X, sharing on Facebook. Again, guys, show PDX67R some love in the chat. We thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And we just want to continue to serve you. Love you and appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.